You are now listening to the Q&E Podcast.
Is this what you want? Huh? Is this what you want? Well, come and get it, goddammit!
Hello, everybody. You're listening to the Q&E Podcast. You're here with your boy Q Hicks right now. I got Edgar on the other line. Edgar, tell the people what's good.
I'm a little distraught. We got a lot to talk about this review. If you don't know, this is episode 5 for Lovecraft. This is our review of episode 5. Strange Case was the title of this episode. By far, the most bizarre episode we've seen in this series so far. I was completely mentally taken away. There were some moments where I didn't know what I was watching anymore. Yeah, it was a lot to take in. I don't even want to say take in. It was a lot. Like, yeah, see, I can't do this. I can't. Just go ahead. Start with the first thing. Yeah.
Bro, it was a whole lot going on this episode, man. Like Edgar just said, it was probably the wildest episode I've seen. It was just so much going on. I didn't know how it clicked together until like my second watch. The first time I watched it, it was just like, what the hell did I just watch? Like
I couldn't watch this twice. I couldn't watch this twice. I couldn't.
I was like, man. But yeah, it was just a whole lot going on. But Edgar, bro, did you like, love, or hate this episode, man? Even with everything that you seen, bro. With everything that you seen, was it a like, love, or hate?
I loved it.
Loved it.
I loved it.
Loved
Don't look at me like that when I say that. Don't look at me like that. Don't look at me like that. I loved it
too. I loved it too, though. I loved it too. On the second watch, the first watch, I liked it because I was just like, yeah. But the second watch, I was like, I love it.
There was so much context with everything with Ruby and everything. So I loved it for that reason. Like, it was so much, like, so many hidden messages. Not even hidden really, but just messages that are downplayed a lot throughout society nowadays that still are permanent. So
yeah. And there was some things that they touched on in this episode that probably went over a couple of people's head that I want to touch on too later into the review. But let's dive into the first scene, man. Ruby wakes up as a white woman, dog. And it was the same white woman that we seen in episode 2 who was in front of like the little stone building or whatever. I forgot what her name was, though.
I forgot too. They said it in the tweets. I seen it on Twitter, but I forgot what name.
Dale? Was it Dale?
Might have been.
I think it was Dale. Her name was Dale, and she was in episode 2. So she woke up as Dale. Ruby did. So we like, what the hell is going on, bruh? So she get out of bed. She can't really walk. She tried to get used to the white body. She don't know what the hell is going on. And I don't know what's going on because we left off. They were just fucking like in episode 4. Like, we didn't really get to like her being a white woman or nothing like that. So she wake up. She go outside as a white woman. She got her little robe on. And then we get the second scene. Oh, like a black boy walks up to her and like, ma'am, you all right? You all right, ma'am?
Yeah.
I already know the cops was driving by right at that moment so perfectly. And obviously they attacked the black dude thinking he was trying to harass the white woman. And it's funny because Ruby touched on it, man. She was like, they weren't, as a white woman, they weren't really scared of me. They were scared for me. And it's crazy how it's like a switch, man. When you're a white woman, man, it's like that mentality. And obviously, though, the cops took her side, bro. But how did you feel about that scene, like, in general, though?
I wasn't really scared because it was like you can tell what was going to happen in that scenario. But it was still the thrill of, not the thrill, I don't want to say, but the suspense of, damn, like, they really finna do this. And it was like,
going to be his ass.
Remember the police scene? I think that was episode 2 when they were in the Sundown County.
That was episode 1.
That was episode 1 still?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so remember episode 1, the suspense of how the police officer was chasing them across the county line and everything. That's the same type of suspense I felt with the young black boy who got attacked by the police in that situation. Yeah. And I was just like, damn, like, it's crazy how it really used to be like that back in the day. Like, you can't even, my dad's from that time. Like, my dad grew up in the late 50s, early 60s to where it was like, you can't even make eye contact with white women in public and stuff like that. At least if you're a black male anyway, you can't. So the fact that they were really like finna beat him to death probably until Ruby said, no, like, don't do anything. It was my fault. I was just like, wow, it just takes a word from like one of them. And all you need to just keep yourself alive, basically.
Yeah.
So that was so crazy to me. I was like, damn. And Ruby seen that, and she was like, I literally have power. Like, all I have to do is just say you did or didn't do something to me, and that could be the difference between life and death for you. So that was crazy.
Yeah. And she had told William, she was like, I actually felt like a human being, like, in that moment. I felt like I was actually listened to. I felt like I was actually respected in that scene. It was just like, that's really powerful, bro. So, man. And then, obviously, we get to the next scene. So they take her in the cop car, and they drive her back to where William and Christina were staying at this time. They drive her to the place, and she's starting to turn in the car. It's like some type of metamorphosis. Her eyes are turning like brown again, and it's just like, whoa. And William told the cops that the little fits that she was having in the back was like some little condition or something.
Like
so
a medical condition that she got medicine for and stuff like that.
Yeah, so we don't know what the hell going on at this point. Obviously, we know that is Ruby, but we don't know what's going to happen next. So William comes out to the cop car, takes her inside, and she is going through it. Her body, it's like stuff sticking out of her body. You don't know what's going on. Like, it looked like something was just trying to get out of her.
Yeah, it was like something was pushing different parts of her body. I was like, what the hell is going on? I was like, should it implode or something?
That's what I was thinking too. I thought she was going to explode. I thought that's how it was going to happen. And the way they captured it, bro, how everything was like coming off her skin, how the skin was coming off, like the look of the skin in this whole entire episode was so fire to me, bro.
Yeah.
It was so cinematic, bro.
CGI was crazy.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. The CGI, man, that shit was definitely crazy, bro. So, William take her in the house. He basically get her ass with a knife and just starts cutting up the white woman who was Ruby. And Ruby just like comes out of the white woman. It's like a metamorphosis type shit. So just think about a caterpillar and a cocoon and a butterfly come out. That was really like the theme of this whole episode, like shedding, metamorphosis, things like that. Because I was going to bring up this point to you, because they brought up the meaning of locust a lot in this episode. Because I remember later in the episode, they had brought it up when we were talking about the drag queen. She was talking about one of her dance moves. And she was talking about locust migration, some shit like that. And then in the TV, in that scene, they were talking about locust as well. So I want to know, did you catch that? And did you see that? Did you know what you were going to expect moving forward?
On the first scene, when William was cutting Ruby open, and you seen it on the TV, and like they zoomed in on the TV, but you seen in the background, you see William cutting Ruby. I didn't really pay attention that time, but the second time later in the episode, when it came again, I was like, didn't they just say something like this earlier? So I caught it the second time. I didn't really pay attention to it that much the first time.
Yeah, because obviously y'all know locust shed, and also locust devour. So, because he said locust devour in like the little news conference, so I was like, what does he mean by that? Locust devour. I thought that was going to play in this episode. I didn't really catch it. If locusts do devour, I didn't really catch that meaning of it. But I did catch that theme of locust though. And now we get to the next scene of Tick and Letty.
Yeah. So if you all remember at the end of episode 4, Montrose cut Yahima's throat, killed her off. Didn't want her to help Tick at all with trying to figure out the pages or anything like that. And Tick and Letty walk into the room and find out that she's not there. And Montrose tells Letty that she's gone. All he says is she's gone. She's not here anymore. And Letty's thinking, oh, he let her go. Like, he let her leave, or she ran away and she just let him or something like that. Letty didn't ask any questions. She didn't try to go in depth with it or anything like that. And Montrose is just sitting there like, yeah, she's gone. Tick looking at him like, I already know what you mean, bro. Like, don't tell me you did what you did. And Tick goes off. Like, Tick just digs in his shit and just start beating the hell out of his dad.
Bro, did you think he was going to kill him in that moment, though, bro? Because I truly did. I truly believed he was going to kill him.
If Letty didn't have people come into the room and stuff like that, Tick was going to kill this man. For real, for real. And I wanted him to beat his ass because everybody knows like, I've been critical of Montrose the past 2-3 episodes now. So the fact that Tick was beating the hell out of him, I was like, thank God, because Montrose deserved his ass beat. But the fact that Tick was trying to kill this man, I was like, whoa, calm down. Like,
that comes from all the pent-up aggression as a kid as well. It's not even just with that just letting Yahima go and burning the pages. It's just also like the kid, you was beating my ass, and it's like, now I'm a grown man. I can really dig in your shit now. So all of that really came out of him at once.
And it's the fact that he Letty was terrified. Like, we'll get to this scene a little later, but Letty was telling him, like, I've never seen you like that, ever. Like, I've never seen you get to that point of angry. And he was like, I didn't really tap into that until I went to the war. Like, that was when that side of me actually came out. It rarely happens, but when it does, like, it's a sight that you don't really want to see. And we seen after the people came into the room and got Tick off of Montrose, Tick went down to the basement of the Winthrop house, and he was going through all the pictures and stuff, trying to find out if Letty took pictures of the pages. He's like antagonizing her, like, did you take pictures of the pages? Like, where are they? Like, I know you took pictures of something. You're always taking pictures of everything. And Letty follows him downstairs, but she has a bat with him and with her. And Tick turns to Letty and like gets in her face. And I'm thinking, please don't hit Letty, because if you hit Letty, I'm finna lose all respect for you. And she looking at him dead in his face, like, please put your hands on me.
She's about to hit that. She's about to dig in his shit with that bat.
He was like, I will put your hands on you. I'll put this bat on you. It's going to be over. But something that I peeped that I thought was going to be like an announcement in the episode, they low-key, like, I thought they was zooming down to her stomach. Because when he looked at Letty, I was like, he not finna hit her because she pregnant, or he not finna hit her just because he not finna hit her. And she was holding the bat, but they slick. They tried to slow it down by her stomach, and they just showed the bat in her hand in the corner. I was like, they think they slick. If Letty pregnant, that's crazy.
I said this in episode 2 or whenever they fucked. Episode 3 or something like that. This was the ghost.
It was 3. It was
episode 3. And I asked you, I was like, bro, do you think that would mean something moving forward? Because like he nutted in her, so she has to be pregnant or something. Something had to be going on, bro. So I was like, could he be passing on the break white blood to somebody else, which could be causing some whole other shit. And it could cause a whole new season just with that alone.
We didn't really see too much of Letty though in this episode, and they haven't made her give any hints of not feeling well or craving stuff or just acting different. So I feel like if we see her in this next episode, episode 6, if she starts like being weird in any way when it comes to her like physicality and stuff like that, I'm going to go with the nod that she pregnant. Right now, I'm just going to say no because she ain't really been giving no hints.
Yeah. And that's what I had put in my notes. I had put that in my notes. I was like, yeah, because I was going to say that when they was fucking in a couple scenes down the road.
Yeah, that too. Mm-hmm.
And I was like, bro, this has to mean something. They keep showing them fucking like this. I'm like, this has to mean something going down the road, bro.
I told you they was going to have like romance throughout this season.
I know romance, but it's just like, to this point, though, I was like, you can show sexual tension, you can show the sex, but it's like they show it for a long time, and then, like you said, hints like that, showing you the stomach and shit like that, is just like, that has to mean something. And you know it's going to mean something, especially when you're talking about bloodlines. You already know it's going to mean something. So you passing on blood, I'm looking deeper into the sexual relationship that Tick is having now.
I say maybe around episode 9 or 10.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think she'll like come up pregnant episode 9 or 10. I feel like she's gonna announce being pregnant is gonna happen very soon. But I feel like by the end of the season, either episode 9 or the season finale, episode 10, we're gonna get like a big moment between her and the baby or something like that.
That's what I'm saying. And that's why I think it's gonna be something that really gets harped on in season 2, which causes a season 2. I think it's good, like you said, episode 9, episode 10, and it causes a season 2, and they carry on with it. So I can definitely see that going forward, bro. So moving on, we get the Ruby scene, and she's in the room with William. William gets out of the shower. He basically is giving her a conversation about butterflies and the metamorphosis and giving her like a summary of what she just went through with the whole metamorphosis process. She said that William was talking about how he was working with Hiram Epstein and how he was being laughed at for trying to do metamorphosis before with humans, and he was being laughed at. But now he's already tried it, and it actually works now. So he's like, I can't be laughed at anymore, but Hiram is gone. So I don't have anybody to rely on to actually make the potions, but it seems like he's still making the potions anyway. So Ruby's confused. She didn't know magic exists. We seen that in the trailer. She was looking confused. It was butterflies falling, going all around her. And, what was the part I wanted to bring up? It was the part of, damn.
It was during that scene?
It was during that scene. He had said something to her when he was about to leave.
Oh, she was asking. I think that was when she was asking, like, am I just supposed to like stay in the house or whatever? And he was like, you could do whatever you please. and that was giving her the option. You can leave. You don't have to come back. You can go do whatever you want. But that potion is sitting right there. If you choose to take that and do what you just happened to you again, by all means, you can stay in this house all day. You can go do that. You can do whatever you want to do.
That's what he said.
She chose white privilege over just leaving that house and not dealing with none of that magic. She chose white privilege, and I feel like that stuck out a lot.
Yeah, and that was it. And you have to look inside of the comment of what he said, because it's something that was foreshadowing for the end of the episode. He said you can do whatever the fuck you want. So you could take advantage of your white privilege and probably get revenge on the white folks, like we seen at the end, or you can use your white privilege to get whatever the fuck you want, get the free ice cream like we seen her. She can like be peaceful and while everybody's walking around, read the newspaper, just chill without being looked at as a villain or looked at as being black all the time and things like that, or just looked at with respect.
Right.
And yeah, so she just gets the feel of being white. She get free ice cream. She can walk around without being feared. So that was all in that scene. So she had the choice. She could have just went home back to the South Side and lived out her life as being a black woman, but she chose to be white with the white privilege, bro. So that was the point I did want to bring up. So I'm glad you caught that sentence. So now we get on to the next scene.
Before we move on to the next scene, I just feel like that entire explanation that William was given of the butterflies and the caterpillars and stuff like that, I feel like that was just really monumental because, like I said, they do a really good job in this show of breaking down theories, breaking down historical context that plays a part in the future. I love the way they do that. And I was just sitting there thinking, I'm like, back then, did some white scientists like really think like this with certain stuff? Like, or just scientists in general? Because we already know, like, black people were publicly experimented on. Mm-hmm. And it was just with basic stuff like vaccines and stuff like that. So I can only imagine the behind the scenes experiments that they tried to do with us, or just on humans in general, like with the Epstein, like switching body parts and stuff like that. And I was like, damn, the cocoon theory, like that just sounds really, it sounds like some stuff you really see in a movie, like about some government type stuff or something like that. So I thought that was real cool.
Yeah. And you have to look at Ruby as an experiment too. So you can say that he was trying to, that he quote unquote cared for Ruby or whatever, but he was really just an experiment in his elaborative scheme, because we seen later in the episode that obviously William is Christina, and Christina was using the potion the whole time. So she already experimented on herself. So now she probably wanted to try it on somebody black and to see if it worked on the black folks or something like that. That's probably what she was trying to test or something like that. So yeah, bro, that's a good point.
But the next scene was basically Tick apologizing to Letty. Letty's in the bathtub at the house. Tick comes into the bathroom, sits by her in the tub.
This the other scene. This the one she gave him the pages.
This one she gave him?
She gave him the pages in that little bottle, and she come outside. She come outside like in a little garage or something like that, with the pictures in like a roll or something like that. And she goes up to him and she was like, "I never seen you act like that," something like that. And this is when
Missed that scene. I seen part of it, but my friend skipped. I was in the kitchen. Damn it. See, this is why I be telling her, like, you can't miss scenes. Damn it, I missed that scene. I didn't miss it, but I wasn't paying full attention to that scene.
And that was the scene where I was going to bring up the fact of passing on the break white blood and things like that. Right. But that's basically all it was. He's like, they fucked, you know what I'm saying? They made up basically after she seen them get all mad and things like that. All right. And then this is when we get to the scene. So Ruby has gone to, let me see. So I think Ruby went on to her job at Marshall's. I think this is when we get to that point. So she's white and she goes into an interview at Marshall's. Mm-hmm. And she was like, all right, I'm going to apply. It's like she's always wanted to apply there anyway. And she got the assistant manager job. And the one key thing that she said in that interview was when the manager had asked her about blacks. She was like, as long as black people have the education that can rival with whites, they should have the same opportunities. But what we find out when she talks to Tamara, she only finds out that Tamara has a 7th grade education. So she starts treating Tamara way different, and she starts to treat her like she's better than her, like a white person. So she starts to really feel empowered in her white skin and starts to feel like she's really different than Tamara.
And this whole scene tripped me out so much because I'm like, damn, this is why even today, a lot of black people, we feel like this gives us the mentality. We have to be 2-3 steps ahead of our white counterparts when it comes to applying for jobs. Ruby was well qualified because the manager dude that was reading her resume, he was like, wow, you did this. You've been in charge of this for blah, blah, blah. If she went in there as her black self, none of that would have mattered. But the fact that she went in there as a white woman, it was like, dang, you've done all of this. Like, you don't even need to just be a regular employee. Here, we're going to make you assistant manager right off the bat. Like, I was like, damn, like, you for real? And she was shocked. She was like, you don't need to see me actually work or anything like that. You just going based off my resume. So when he asked about blacks and stuff, and he was like, how do you feel about them? Like, how do you feel about them in the workplace and everything? I was just like, damn. And he explained, like, they have to have they were getting into the times of we have to have some type of diversity in the workplace. Yeah, because we got to have that token person, or like I call it affirmative action of just quickly hiring the first colored person you can.
That's what it was. Yeah,
literally what they did. So when she went to Tamara, and Tamara was like, I got a 7th grade education. I ain't never been in sales, never had a job, like none of that. Like I don't know how I got this job. I applied on a whim, basically.
Yeah.
And Ruby was just like, so you don't know how to do anything, basically. I was just like, damn, like they really applied for that. The first thing I thought of was, you remember the Wayans brother episode when Sean got hired by that big corporation and all they had him doing was sharpening pencils?
Oh, yep.
Like he was just sharpening pencils, printing paper, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And he found out they only hired him because you have to have a certain percentage of black people that work there. Even if it's just one person that fits that percentage, that's all you need. They don't even got to be qualified. You just got to have that one person to publicly advertise that we do hire these people. Mm-hmm. So I was just like, damn, that's crazy that was happening in the 50s. And then even later in shows like that in the 90s and stuff, it was still prevalent.
Yeah. And this episode did a great job of showing like the dichotomy of being white in a black world and being black in a white world as well. And it also highlighted the fact of a lot of black people growing up wanted to be white or wished to be white at some point in their lives. And they did a great job of it. I seen Derek post that on Twitter, man. And like he brought up a great point. Because a lot of people at some point in their life to get out of a situation or whatever, to get something, or you see a white person got something that you ain't got, you always wish that you could be white at some point in your life. Even though you love to be black, we love to be black, but you at some point wish to be white at some point in your life. And this show just shows.
My siblings would say that, like, it's not even the fact of just wishing we was white. It's just the fact that just let me do it. Just let me do it for one day. I ain't even trying to beg to do it, but just give me the opportunity to be white for one day. I promise you, I'm gonna live that shit up. Ooh,
that's what I'm saying. You're gonna get away with so much shit.
Get away with so much
shit. Get away with so much shit. And this episode did a great job of that. And that's why Ruby was picking her white skin over her black skin a lot of the time, because she was talking to William when she was in the tub that one scene. And she was like, I didn't even have to use no money because I don't need money when I'm white. I have whiteness. Whiteness is the best currency. So when I can use that, why do I need money? Why would I want to be in my black skin when I can use this all the time? So that's why she was picking her white skin a lot, bro. So that shit was definitely crazy. And I think I skipped the part, bro.
Wasn't that the same part when she asked, out of all the color girls, why me? Yeah, she asked William, out of all the color girls that you could have done this to, why me? And it's because William said he needed a favor. And I think it's just because of the fact that he knew, or Christina, we'll get to that confusing ass part later. But right now I'll say William. William knew that she was related to Letty and stuff like that.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
And I said that last week because even when she responded to Letty, or even when William responded to Letty, I was like, that's bullshit. Like he was like, why not you? Or some shit he had said. I'm like, that's some bullshit.
I was like, that was bullshit.
Yeah, it was no other reason to pick Ruby other than she's related to Letty, and you can use Letty to get inside of the Winthrop house and shit like that.
But he knows that she knows nothing about any of them. So that's why he could just tell her, why not you? So
yeah, bro. So he was like, yeah, he gonna need a favor. And I brought up that Letty point from last week. But she also brought up the point of being uninterrupted by the world. She was like, I always try to do my thing as being a proud black woman, but I am always interrupted by the world at some point. Either I get distracted by Letty, or either some white person mess shit up, or something always interrupts me from being a proud black woman. And I think when she told this to William, and this was a tale or foreshadowing for later in the episodes. When I watched it a second time, bro, when I watched this episode a second time, it was many tales to show you that William was really Christina the whole time. Because this is the first tale. When she had told, when Ruby told William about being uninterrupted. And then later in the episode, Christina had brought up the point about being uninterrupted. And Ruby was like, how the hell? How you know that? You know what I'm saying? You remember she had said that?
I gotta watch it a second time.
Bro. If I have to tell y'all anything about the show, watch it twice to actually understand it.
I gotta build my stomach up.
Because the first watch, you're not gonna understand everything that you see. The first watch, you just have to enjoy it for the show. The second watch, that's when you find the Easter eggs. That's when you piece shit together. Because obviously, I wouldn't have pieced shit together because I wouldn't have known Christina was William to the end of the episode, first of all.
Yeah.
And then you watch it back and you like, oh, that was one tale. It was another tale later in the episode that I'm going to get to. So it was multiple tales that was like, damn, now it makes sense. That, you know what I'm saying? Here and there. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, bro. So you can dive into the episode about chopping up. They're with the white coworkers in the back room. They're with the white coworkers in the back.
Oh, you're talking about when Ruby was down there with her coworkers? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so was this before? Yeah, this was before that scene. Okay, so Ruby goes down into the what's it called? The break room.
Yeah, break room.
Yeah, into the break room with her white female coworkers, and she's getting a chance to like feel the vibe of white women in the room, and she's trying to see, okay, let's see what conversations are like in these type of scenarios where there's nobody of color around. There's no Asians, no Mexicans, no black people. There's nobody else but white people in the room. Let's see what they actually talk about. And the fact that it was literally everything she thought it would be, like they were dancing and stuff on break and everything. Ruby started dancing and Ruby got sauce. So it's like her black self is still in the white body. So she dancing like, and I'm looking like, yeah, she got rhythm, all that. And it was one of the girls, it was like, oh, she got the color version already. I was like, oh my God. Yeah. That'll made me say something off rip. And Ruby just had to keep holding her tongue with everything that they said. Mm. And I think it was it the blonde one that said, what did she say?
This is when they started to talk about Tamara. You talking about they started talking about Tamara?
She said something about Tamara, but I think she said Negro or something like that. And
that's what she said. She was like, because Ruby had said, I hope they're more qualified than Tamara. She was like, I don't want to see any more Tamaras. That's what the coworker said. I don't want to see any more Tamaras. And then
somebody was like, they tried to correct her. She was like, what? At least I stopped from saying the inappropriate word or something like that. Yeah. I was like, whoa. So it's like, they know they be like super racist, but they create different words to say so they don't have to say the wrong word, apparently. Yeah. I was just like, that's crazy, bro. And they just kept going in and in on black people, and Ruby just kept having to sit there, hold her tongue, not say nothing, and all that.
It's funny because she was like gaslighting a lot of those conversations too, because she was like, I hope if we get another black coworker, they're more qualified than Tamara. And she was
I feel like she was part of her was doing that because she really felt that way, but I feel another part of her was doing it just so she could see what they'll say if she green light stuff like that. Like, let me say something like this just so I can see what you gonna say back. I feel like that's what she was doing.
Nah, because, bro, she was still dancing. Because remember, she was dancing and all that shit. Even when she said that, she was still dancing or whatever. But when she was like, she was like, she's not qualified because she's a Negro. She stopped everything she was doing. She like, oh, shit. And that's the part she was like, I feel like she wanted to say something, but she really couldn't. But it's funny because they really wanted to use Tamara to get over to the South Side clubs or whatever. That's what the white girls were talking about in the break room. It's like, man, I never been to the South Side. And Ruby was like, it's nothing special about the South Side. It's like,
and they were like, you've been? I was like, I mean, all you gotta do is drive there. Like,
it's like, man, did it feel like a safari or some shit that a white girl had said?
I was like, wow. I was like, ooh, it be scenes like that just really get me sometimes. I'd be like, a safari, bro. I was like, damn. Like, they really look at us as animals. Like, at least back. Some of them do to this day.
I'm about to say, yeah.
A lot of them back then, like, they looked at us as, like, attractions and animals, roadside attractions and stuff like that. That was just crazy to me.
That shit was definitely crazy, bro. Now we get to the part where it's Montrose. Let me get on this Montrose point for because I think you skipped this.
You got
and
it.
this,
do it.
And I think you skipped this point for a reason. Edgar don't want to talk about this part. Talk about this part right here. So we heard in episode 3 that Montrose could be gay. That's what Tree had told the Tick. So in this episode, when after getting beat up by Tick, Montrose is really like distraught in a way. So he goes to the bar owner.
And they talk the whole episode.
He did it. He did it. He did talk, but he go to the bar owner apartment, bro. So everything look cool. So like they get right to it. Basically, when he walk in, they get right to it, bro. He get the spit in his hand, bro. The nastiest spit glop I've ever seen in my life. That's the craziest spit glop I've ever seen in my life.
You're going into detail. Let's just
to make a long story short, man. They end up fucking or whatever, man. And this is like, and this is one point I want to hit on too. They did kiss while they were fucking, and that ended up being like a big point with their relationship because I feel like Montrose was just using him just to be like a fuck buddy in a way. He really didn't want to be in a relationship. But like I said, later in this episode, we start to see he's starting to shed. He's starting to open up, and he's starting to embrace his sexuality. And that's what a lot of people, and like I said, that's just the theme of this whole episode. Ruby had to shed herself. Tick had to shed himself to be vulnerable. Montrose had to shed himself to be open with his sexuality. So everybody had to shed themselves in a way. So that's why I say it's the theme. And he had to end up shedding himself and having to stop being closeted.
And that was cool to me in a way. It was after the graphic stuff and everything. Just seeing him be around people that he's attracted to, like the drag queens and stuff like that. Like I just thought it was just gonna be a regular gay relationship. Like no, he likes full blown drag queens, men who dress up as women type stuff. I was like, this is definitely proving why Uncle George is probably Tick Daddy. But
and that's my point too. And I think I said this in a couple episode reviews. And
that was crazy to me. Hey, at least he found comfort in his own skin, and he happy with who he is, and he was able to embrace that. Because I think one of the drag queens, when they were all getting dressed to go out that night, they were like, so what is he to you? Like, do y'all even kiss yet and stuff like that? We don't see y'all be all up on each other when we all here. And everything like that. And then when they were finally out at the party, they kissed in front of everybody and stuff like that. So I was just like, he finally accepting who he is and stuff like that. So I was just like, I gotta get used to seeing Montrose like this. I'm not used to it. Just for all our fans, I'm not homophobic. I can't just naturally watch that stuff and not be disgusted. Not homophobic at all though. I love everybody.
This is what I told, bro. I was like, because I feel like a lot of people haven't seen Brokeback Mountain for good reasons. Obviously, it's a gay show, so if you have like any problems with that, you don't want to watch it. But I've seen Brokeback Mountain. No, I'm not gay, but I've seen the show. I've seen the movie, and I feel like it was the same type of vibe. You know what I'm saying? If you watch Brokeback Mountain, you can get through anything because it was a whole lot of this. It was a whole lot of this throughout that movie, bro. So I feel like same thing. It was some Brokeback Mountain shit, and it was. You know what I'm saying? It was a good scene though. I rock with it. It was cinematic. And now what we get to, bro. We're with the scene of after work, and she meets up with William and she's talking to him.
Okay, so yeah, it was after I think it was literally after she was talking to them in the break room when they were they went outside, they went downstairs. I think they all were off at that point, and they were figuring out what they were gonna do, where they were gonna go next until they went to the south side. And you see William pulled up already in the back of the building, and he has a surprise for Ruby. And all of the white women are like, he's with you and stuff like that. And she's like, yup. So she walks over to the car to William, and they have an intimate scene or whatever. And he was like, I need you to do that favor for me. And she was like, okay, what? He was like, you got a surprise in the back seat. Look at that first. She opens the box, and the first song that came to my head, The Story of OJ. I was like, oh my God. When she seen that maid outfit in that box, still nigga. I was like, oh my God.
Don't forget who you is on the inside, boy.
And I I feel like William did that to humble her. Like, I'm letting you taste this white privilege. Oh, but please don't forget what you really are at the end of the day.
And I was gonna bring up that same point. That was the whole purpose of it.
Damn, I was like, yeah, I gotta play the story of OJ after that.
Yep.
Still nigga. Jay-Z was speaking that. I don't get light niggas, dark niggas, full niggas, still nigga at the end of the day.
That's facts, bro. So yeah, so we get to the like the little serving scene. She's the maid, she handing out everything, and she ends up meeting with Christina in like the back room or whatever. So she talking to Christina, and she like, and Christina, because they say you have to do a favor for her. I thought the favor was going to be the servant, but she wanted the favor to be hiding something in the captain's office. And the captain is the same person that we've seen in episode 3 who not beat up on Letty, but was messing with Letty in the back of the cop car.
Interrogating her.
Yeah, and also he was the same person who he was in cahoots with
Dr. Epstein.
Mm-hmm. So we already know he has a lot to do with a lot of the bad shit and the experimental shit that's going on with the cops on the north side of Chicago. So Christina wants her to hide like some wooden protection thing inside of his office. So obviously Ruby tiptoes in the office, and the same person that we were hearing last episode, like a moaning person from the closet. We finally find out, we don't find out who he is, but we see who he is. And he was like, he got his tongue cut out, and it's just like niggas bleeding.
Sewn up everywhere. Like all
everywhere. So it's crazy. It's crazy. So Ruby ends up hiding the wooden protection thing that Christina wanted her to hide. And she heard the captain run into the office. Or the captain and 2 of his boys come into the office. So she hid in the closet with the dude. I don't forget what his name is. It's like Zenobi or some shit they had called in the show. So they hiding in there with him so obviously the dude with his tongue cut out, he trying to make noise and trying to alert the people in the captain's office, the captain and his 2 boys. So, but she got her hands over his mouth. That's some disgusting shit. I don't think I would be able to do that shit.
I wouldn't be able to do that. We would have just been caught. Man, he was like breathing on her, trying to get her. I was like, she finna throw up. I was like, oh my God.
That shit was wild. I was like, I can't do that. You got blood and all that shit on my hands, saliva. I see you cut up. You trying to look like you trying to lick her. And at one point, I was like, bro, this shit is wild. But the most interesting point of this scene was the dude's body. Did you notice his body? His body was like black, shaded.
He was like switching clothes for the event. Like he was doing like a dress change or whatever. His entire torso was a black man's torso. And you seen stitches the same way the dude in the closet was stitched up. You seen stitches. I mean, obviously they were much cleaner, but you seen he was sewn together like white pieces and black pieces were different, like were differently put on him. And I was like, so was he an actual success from Dr. Epstein instead of one of the many failures like all the black people he was trying to do? I was like, damn, like, because I thought of Get Out when I seen that. How white people were trying to become black people in the movie.
Oh.
Like, remember Lakeith Stanfield's character? It was really an old white man who took over his body. Mm. Like, he was, like, Lakeith Stanfield character was in the sunken place, and the white dude was living through him. And I was like, damn, this is basically a more physical version of that. Not so much mental, but a physical version. Yeah. I was like, damn, that's wild. That's so crazy to me.
Because the first time I watched it, I was just like, what the fuck? Like, I didn't understand what was going on, but the second time I watched it, I was like, that's a black man's torso. He had his whole torso. I'm like, bro, that's crazy, dog. That shit was really crazy. And something that I skipped over when
it was, I think William highlighted that too. I don't know if it was William or somebody else, but white people want to be black, black people want to be white.
You did that.
Stuff like that. I was like, damn, like you really got to think about it like that because, like you said earlier, there have been many times that me and you, other black people, we've wished just for one day, like, let me be white just for one day. And I feel like a lot of white people are like that too when it comes to being black. They don't want the black experience, but at least the negative experience. They don't want to be all the way black.
They want the hip hop. They want the athleticism, shit like that.
We want to be all the way white. They don't want to be all the way black. That's the crazy part. Yeah. They want our attributes, but they don't really want our life. We want their whole life. Like, that's the difference. That's the whole difference.
Yeah.
That was so crazy to me. I was like, damn, Jordan Peele be speaking, boy. That man be speaking.
He does. And it's funny, bro, because like I said, I had skipped the part when Ruby was handing out food at the at the event or whatever, at the party. The captain had said something. He was like, I'm the captain of this whole social club.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa. I was like, I thought he was just the captain of the cops. But then we get to a part when we're back to Ruby and Christina. They were talking in the back room. And then we start to have that conversation, which was another tale when I watched it on the second watch. When she was talking about how the captain ended up shooting William in his back and dumping him in a river. So I'm piecing shit together on my second watch. I'm like, damn. I'm like, so that nigga William probably is really dead, but she became him just so she can be a part of the order.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow. And you remember she had said William was the rightful heir to the lodge, and that's why the captain had killed him. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, wow. And she also said that the captain didn't know that William was still alive. That's why every time the captain is around, she's in Christina form.
Right.
So I'm like, wow, bro.
I peeped that. My friend Desire put me on. Shout out to Desire. She put me on to that. She peeped that before I did. She was like, y'all ain't noticing that? I was like, wait, what? She was like, yeah. I was like, damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, bro. So like I said, the second tale was the second watch gave you so many tales. And also going back to the fourth episode, or whenever it was Christina and the cop, they was in a room together.
That was episode 4.
That was episode 4. Okay. So they were talking, and she said, I don't remember you getting initiated into the order. She had said something like that, right? And the cop had got mad. He was like, you're not even in the order. You're a woman or something like that. And then I thought about it. I said,
oh, no, that was 3. That was episode 3.
That was 3. Okay. So I thought about it. I'm like, damn, she probably was there, but she was there as William. So that's why she was in the order as William. So she was like, I haven't seen you have an initiation yet. Yeah. So he think she's not even a part of the association or the order. When she's William the whole time. So she's at everybody's initiation. So she would know if you were in the order. And that's why she made that comment.
And I feel like that's why she was so empathetic to Ruby when Ruby was talking about living an interrupted or uninterrupted life, because Christina felt that from a standpoint of, I understand you as a woman of being interrupted. Like, I can't understand you as a black person or as a black woman, but as a woman, I understand that because I've been interrupted several times because it's like, I'm a woman, so they don't allow me to do this, that, and this within my own damn near birthright.
I'm a birthright.
I'm in the family. Yeah. So it's like, I'm in the family. I should have certain rights just like them, but I'm a female. So I get you on a female standpoint of being interrupted. So I was like, damn, like, since you said that, now I peeped that. But I gotta rewatch it again so that way I can see it line up the way I'm thinking about it right now.
Yeah, man. So the captain tried to kill William to take his seat, and that's why he had said that, yeah, I'm the basically the boss of this whole social club now. And the captain thinks he succeeded, and he think he just dumped William in the river or whatever, and it's done. But Christina says she helped William, quote unquote, survive. So William is probably still dead, but obviously Christina is William, so she changes and metamorphosizes, or whatever word that is, into William from time to time to get places where she couldn't get as a woman. I thought you were gonna say something. All right, bro. Now we can get on to the next scene. This is Letty in the pages. I think it was in the basement.
In the pages. Where you put that one at? That was
under protection symbol.
Protection. I literally just passed it. Damn, protection. Oh, I see it. Protection and letters. Oh yeah, this one Letty was basically describing the pages to Tick, saying that these pages attract evil, and Tick says it's not inherently evil. It's what we do with it that matters. So although these messages from the pages are depicting like evil things that go on, Tick's like, no, if we learn how to master this and can like really use it to our own benefit, it's not really evil if you think about it, which I feel like it's true to a certain extent, like, because what's a good example? I can't think of no example right off the bat, but you could take something that's purely meant for evil and you could use it to the benefit of good. So I agree with Tick with that, but Letty wasn't trying to hear that shit. She was like, no, like.
And I understood her point, because ever since those pages and the Break Whites came around, it ain't been nothing but bad shit that's been going on since then.
But on the same hand, they haven't been understanding any of it. I feel like that's also why. Like, I feel like once you get a full understanding of what's going on, you'll be able to fully use it to your benefit. And that's what Tick's trying to express. We still don't know. We have to learn how to read this stuff. We have to learn how to practice the spells and stuff like that, so that way we can use it to our advantage.
But we don't know how much evil is going to be. I don't know.
Opened up.
Yeah, we don't know how much evil is going to open up to get the full extent of those pages, because more evil can be coming down the line. Like Letty could probably. This is like foreshadowing. This is what I was thinking in my mind when she had said it. I was like, damn, maybe to get the full pages and the full book of names, somebody has to die. Maybe somebody like a Letty has to die because he wants to get the full extent of the pages. And we see how much evil it attracts with Montrose killing Yahima and with Tick beating Montrose's ass over the pages. We see how much is going on because of that. So maybe to get the full extent of the pages, something like that would have to happen if all this evil is opening up. You feel what I'm saying? So that's what I was looking at. But obviously she was like, or Tick was like, yeah, we got to do what it, get.
I think she was talking about her Christianity too at that point of like, this just isn't like, it just didn't match up with her mind frame of,
Yeah. And she dove, and that's the point I want to dive into too. When we get to that scene, that's when she was talking about it in the tub. I want to dive in that too. But yeah, they basically want to get the book of names to protect their own.
Because she didn't fully understand her own belief in Christianity anymore. But the Christianity she was taught, she know damn well didn't line up with any of that. So I feel like that's what was making her be like, no, I already got my shakiness with the belief of Christianity anyway. But it's like the parts that I do believe, this does not line up with that at all. So I was like, damn, she got a point with that.
Yeah. All right. So this is the point. This is the part when I think Tamara takes the people to the south side. I think not Betty. Ruby ends up basically blackmailing Tamara to take her over to the south side because she was snapping on her for some reason about some shoes or some shit, and she was causing a scene. And that's when she had said something about you got to be twice as good or you got to be just as good as these white folks to make it in this world or some shit. So she was like causing a scene. Everybody was looking at it, and she was like, "So yeah, we were just talking about taking everybody to the south side or whatever." So Tamara take everybody to the south side. It's like 4 girls, Ruby included, 3 of the co-workers, and the manager comes along as well. So it looks like they was having a chill time. And Ruby ends up sneaking to the back because she feel awkward. She don't like being in this space, being white, and it just felt real awkward for her. So she changes back into Black Ruby in the back. And obviously she's going through it, her skin coming off, she's changing, metamorphosizing. I feel like it's a word for that, but still. Metamorphosizing or whatever.
I think that's the word.
Is that the word?
I'm 99.
Is that a word?
99% sure that's the word.
I keep saying it now. I keep trying to make it a word. But
metamorphosize. Ing. We're going with that.
Yeah, she keeps. So she's metamorphosizing, bro, out of her white body, turning back black. And it's funny, bro. Like you said, the CGI is so great, but like the sliminess of having like changing it.
Made my skin crawl. I was like, they couldn't find no like more eye appealing way to like make that happen. Like it couldn't just be like the skin breaks off like glass. Like I'd be so like a vase. Like imagine just the skin breaking off like a vase. I'd rather watch that than like it's ripping off. Like it's like you're ripping out of flesh. I was like, that's disgusting.
And she was walking around like that. That was blowing me.
That was probably
nasty ass skin. I'm like, damn.
You butt naked, covered in blood and other people's skin. I was like, I can't walk around like this. Like
that shit was definitely blowing me, bro. But when she was metamorphosizing, she looks through like the fence. So it's like a hole in the fence. And she sees Tamara is getting harassed. It looked like she was about to get raped by the manager. The manager was like, "Oh, I heard you Black women taste so good down there, and I just want to smell it," and all that nasty shit he was saying while trying to rape her.
What'd
you say?
You wanted WAP.
Yeah, basically, bro. I wanted some Black WAP, bro. And it's funny because you remember earlier in the episode, back to that break room scene, when Ruby, the white version of Ruby, had asked everybody, she was like, has the manager ever tried to get fresh with any of you guys? Fresh meaning, has he ever tried to get with any of you guys?
And they were like, no, he's married with like 2 kids. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, so they're trying to, and it showed you how naive white women can really be in moments. Like, they really don't know what the hell is really going on outside of their bubble, bro. And it really opened my eyes to that. Because, like you said, like, he got 2 kids. No, he would never do anything like that to us. No. But we get to that scene and he trying to get with the Black girl, and it's just like, wow, like, and you are a piece of shit like I thought this whole time, bro.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But part of me was thinking, I was like, I know obviously he didn't know Ruby was black in a white body, but I kind of got the sense that he felt a different presence with Ruby. I feel like he felt like he could feel she had sauce. Like I feel like he felt that. I feel like he felt her black sauce coming through her white
what
body.
would give you that impression though?
I don't know. Like, it's just the fact that all the rest of them were like, no, he's never tried that with us. But Ruby felt like she was the only one being tried like that.
But she felt like that because she was black, and she knows that usually the white managers give off that type of feel. They want something for you to get to this place. Like we always hear that black girls have to sleep their way to the top, and it's like the same thing. That she had that same mentality in this situation. She was like, I probably got to sleep. If she was black, she probably had to sleep with him to get a job there or some shit like that. And that's why she asked the question. So her black mindset really just came out when she asked that. But the white girls were just like naive in a sense.
And I want to go back to the point of when Ruby was getting on Tamara in front of everybody in the store. Part of her was doing that because she was still kind of upset that she got that job in an unqualified way. But part of her was doing that to actually teach her, like, look, yes, I'm yelling at you. Yes, I'm treating you harshly, but you got to understand, like, these white people right now, they only got you here because they technically need you at the moment, but just for corporate reasons. It's not because they need you as you work good. No, they just need you to fill a quota. So you have to do the best to always know what to do before they know what to do. You got to understand problems. You have to understand how to get a solution for a problem before they do. Like, you got to be 10 steps ahead with everything you do as opposed to them. Otherwise, you're always going to be belittled and looked down upon in workplaces like these. So I like the fact that she did that, even though she did it in a fucked up way.
And I don't even think Tamara really fully understood it because it was coming from a white lady. I don't think she fully understood it. If it was coming, if it was from black to black, I think she would have understood it. But since it was coming from white women, she was like confused. She was like, why are you telling me this? Type shit. And it was funny because she was really like the guinea pig or like the dog of the store. Like she was doing everybody jobs. Like 3 of the workers was in like the break room just chilling while Tamara was all over the place picking up slack for all the other workers and shit like that. It's like she was getting ran around and everybody, the white girl just chilling and shit like that. So she was getting taken advantage of.
And I feel like that's why they purposely picked somebody like her. They picked somebody who didn't have an education, who didn't have room to talk or complain and stuff. Like, if they hired somebody like Ruby, who actually knew how to do that job and like didn't take no slack and wasn't about being like used and stuff like that, Ruby would have been fired the first day because you're not going to talk back to any of your white employees or especially your white manager. That's not going to happen. So they picked a black person that they know they're not qualified. They're not going to talk back because they know they're not qualified and they're going to do whatever we say, even if we leave them on the floor by themselves to handle everything.
Yeah. Crazy, bro. All right, and now we get to the drag queen scene. We already talked about it before. The drag queen scene. They in the club. The bar owner is the drag queen, and he's like in a drag queen club. It's like multiple of them, and they were all dancing for like some type of, I don't know if it was a strip club, if it was a pageant. I don't know what really was going on at the time.
It was just like a club. I don't think it was a strip club. I think it was just like a regular type club.
Yeah, it was just like a regular club. That's what I was thinking too. And it's like a regular club, and Montrose is really like standing around. He really don't want to show himself. He really don't want to get out there. And the bar owner, as the drag queen, she was getting loose out there. She was getting loose. She was like being happy with who she was, and she was happy with who she was. And Montrose was just looking around. And then she ended up going to Montrose to help him have him dance or whatever. So she dancing with Montrose, and he's starting to open up. You could tell he was starting to open up. It's like he started to dance or whatever. And then he started dancing with like a straight woman. And then they lifted him up. And it was like a group of women. They lifted him up. They was spinning him around. It was glitter. It was glitter coming down on his face. And it was really like a tell, like, yeah, he's starting to glitter.
There was a lot of glitter. There's a whole lot of glitter that I was not expecting. You can't just have glitter scenes like that without prequel to that. You can't just randomly put all that glitter on screen.
Yeah, man. So the glitter come down, and it really just shows you, like I said before, man, just him shedding and him starting to embrace his sexuality. And then he ends up kissing the bar owner as the drag queen in front of everybody. So he letting everybody know, hey, I'm gay. I'm happy. Yeah, I'm accepting it. And I feel like that was like a lot of his reasons why he was so alone. And you heard the song in the background. It was saying something about being lonely or something like that. So he's been feeling alone for all this time. But the bar owner was somebody he always went to when he needed somebody, whether it was the fuck, whether there was somebody to talk to, it was always the bar owner. But now since he's starting to embrace it, he's starting to break out of the depression, I feel like. And he's starting to, he's going to actually get into a relationship with the bar owner.
I need him to talk next episode. That's what I need. I need to talk. You can't do everything that you just did and not talk. Like, come on, Montrose. Damn.
But I think that's what made the episode even better. Like, he didn't even have to talk. You just seen it for yourself. You seen the transformation for yourself. Because you see in the one scene, she was just basically using the dude just to fuck. And then another scene, like, you kissing out in front of everybody. It's like, damn, that's a quick transition, but we see how far you came. So I feel like having no words made it even the transformation even better. Like, you don't even have to talk. Like, we see it on screen. You feel what I'm saying? So I liked it even better with him without talking. Shit, he probably couldn't talk after that ass beating with Tick and shit.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, are you not talking because your son finally whipped your ass, or you not talking because you just real gay right now? You don't know how to talk. Like, I think it was a mixture of both.
Yeah.
But the next scene, Ruby is waiting. This was after the scene of when she caught Tamara and the manager. She's at the house now. She's at the house now waiting for William, and she notices Christina comes up from the basement. Was it stairs or an elevator or something like that?
It was stairs.
It was stairs, but that's the only door in the house that has a lock and key to it. Every other door is unlocked, open 99% of the time. So she's waiting for William to come home, and she notices Christina, and she's like, "You're not William. Like, where is he? Like, I never see either of you at the same time." And it's like, you all always lock that door. Like, why is the basement always locked? What's keeping everybody from going to the basement? And I think this is the part where you said Christina gave like another tale or something like that.
This was the uninterrupted tale that she was talking to Ruby. She was like, you did say you wanted to be uninterrupted, right? And Ruby was like, did William tell you that or whatever like that? And it was just like, oh, like, she's William, and that's how she knew. Like, William didn't tell her anything. Like, she was inside of William the whole time. But the point about that I want to dive into with that scene of the basement is, I think William's body is down there. I
said that too. I feel like people who are dying, their bodies are going in that basement and their blood being used for the potions.
Exactly, bro. Exactly. And that's how she got the white girl potion. That's how she became Dale. So I think Dale is down there too, dead. So Dale and William are the two people I know are definitely in that basement, bro. But I think they're using it for that exact reason.
And I feel like there was foreshadowing to that, because remember the stone tower that Dale was guarding with the guard dogs?
Yeah.
And Uncle George asked, they just assumed that they were keeping black people in there. They were like, what else would you have a tall stone building in the middle of a town for? Like, other than keeping black people in there for prison.
Yeah.
And she was like, no, we keep this for slaughtered animals and stuff like that. But didn't really go into the fact that these slaughtered animals were, what's the word I just said? It was a foreshadowing to now of the basement of that house being for slaughtered animals or people in this instance. Slaughtered people who blood they continue to use.
Yes. I get it. So do you think it's like a pathway to the stone building? Just like how we were going through the tunnel in the last episode and there was an elevator to get to Letty's house. And it was like you don't think it's a pathway to the stone building?
The only pathway that was made from that stone building was when Montrose had that path to go up through the ground outside. I feel like that was the only pathway.
I feel like it still could be a pathway, bro. It's magic. I don't know what the hell going on with magic, bro. But it's Montrose, so Montrose probably wouldn't know about a magical pathway anyway. So even if it was, he wouldn't know about it. So maybe Christina knows about it, and she knows something is down there. So she's using the stone building as a pathway, keeping everybody down in that stone building. And she goes up to the actual or whatever she's staying at. She goes up to her house, just like the same thing. Because like you said before, you said it in the last episode review, like time and space isn't the same when it comes to those tunnels and people's houses. It's not the same. Like the tunnel in the museum was in Boston, but they live in Chicago, but they were connected somehow. So we like, what the hell going on? So maybe the stone building that was in Artem is connected to wherever she's staying right now. Just off the magic.
That might be. They didn't really show the entire inside bottom portion of the tower, of the stone tower. So it could be. Based off of what we've seen, I don't think it is, but who knows? We didn't get to see the whole thing anyway. So
yeah. And then also in this scene, this is when she just talks to Letty about you can do whatever you want. When William told you can do whatever you want, you can do whatever you want. You can also be white, but you can use your whiteness to get, like I said before, get revenge or do whatever you want with it because you're white. You're probably gonna get away with it anyways.
And it's for the fact that you're using magic. Like when you have the power of magic, you can do. She literally told it to her face, you could do whatever the fuck you want to do. Like that's the free power. That's bigger than white privilege. Like it's the next thing above that. When you have magic, you can do whatever the hell you want with no consequences. And I was like, damn. Like, and then she gave her the option again. You can either continue to use this, or you can leave. You can do whatever you want to do. Like that's the freedom that you have with magic. The same way you got this freedom with white privilege when you are actually white. That's the same privilege you got with magic.
Yeah. And that's why I think Ruby is going to be so, not cool, but she's going to be accepting of Christina being William. So that's why she's still going to be messing with Christina moving forward. And that's why I still think Christina is going to use her to get inside Letty's house and things like that. Because she's already done it herself. She sees how it is. And she understands about the story she told about William getting killed. So now she's probably feeling some type of empathy for her turning into William and things like that. So I can still see it.
But this is why I keep saying, I don't think Christina is all the way bad. I don't think she's a full-blown
She's shown you multiple times she's a villain.
I don't think she's No, I know she's a villain, but you think she's 100%. I think she's 50-50 or 60-40. I feel like she's teeter-tottering. She's of those. She's an antagonist, but I don't think she's a villain. I think that's what it is.
How much do you want to bet after she gets what she wants, she's going to kill Ruby?
I already got to send you $5 anyway for this Jamal Murray situation. So I'll bet another $5.
It's funny, bro. I don't even want that $5 because they lost the series. So it's just like, you can keep that shit. You can keep that shit.
$5. So we can put that $5 on this one.
Yeah. But look, I think she's going to use Ruby until she can't use it no more. She's going to probably kill her because she knows too much about the magic. So
I don't think she's going to kill her. I think she'll just like.
She killed her father, bro. You don't think she's going to kill Ruby?
She killed her father because I feel like Christina wants to be the top dog in that situation of ruling that type of lodge and stuff like that. I feel like that's why she got rid of her father and all that stuff. I don't feel like she'll get rid of Ruby or Tick or anything. She definitely not getting rid of Tick, but I don't feel like she'll get rid of. I don't feel like she'll get rid of Ruby because she's made somewhat of a connection with Ruby.
Maybe. But the point I was trying to say with her father is you can't rule anything out. If you killing your father, you can kill any damn body. It don't matter who it is.
I don't know. It depends, bro. It's a lot of variables that go within all of these.
I don't know. And it's a villain at the same time. You can have a connection with the villain and still kill somebody you have a connection with. It's just like you're an antagonist. Like we've seen it before.
That's what I said. Like I see antagonists, but I don't see pure villain yet. Because you can be an antagonist and not really be the villain.
Nah, she's the villain. she's the villain most of the time. But I feel like, and we're gonna dive into it with these next couple scenes, Gia could be some sort of antagonist, villain, whatever you want to call it, moving forward as well. We see in episode 6, the episode is gonna be surrounding her. I feel like she could be knowing a lot of shit that's going on right now moving forward. I feel like she could be some type of villain or antagonist moving forward.
I was really ready to see her because I'm like, who is this Korean lady that keep calling this man? Like, who is this person? I was like, we're not going to just keep ignoring this. This man to get a phone call, and then the rest of the episode, we don't know nothing about the phone call that just happened. I was like,
no, he be calling her. She be
whoever be calling, call who. We can't just ignore this intense phone call, like this 30-second intense phone call, and for the rest of the episode, nothing relates back to the phone call. We finally finna get the backstory on her, on why she's able to read the pages, understand the pages, and all that. I'm glad we finally gonna get that.
And it's funny because, and I think it was I don't want to dive too far ahead. I think it's in a couple scenes anyway. Let me get this scene out the way. We get Ruby Fool as the manager. She comes in as her white version, and she basically say, "I'm quitting because I want to fuck you. I'm attracted to you and shit like that." So the manager, he all for it. If you want to fuck, I'm cool with it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Even though the white girl said he didn't want to get quote unquote fresh, but he cool with it. He down. He trying to get freaky. So they getting freaky. He's sucking her stiletto heel or whatever. And she's starting to turn.
I was about to say, you gotta You gotta say everything that happened before he started sucking the heel.
What? I kind of forgot what happened before that.
She literally got him to the point of where he couldn't move his body.
Yes.
Took his belt off. Like, she was trying to be on some real crazy foreplay type shit. She took his belt off, put it around his neck, like a dog on a leash type shit. Tied his hands together, pulled his pants down so that way he couldn't move his legs, your arms tied, and you got a belt around your neck. Made him get on his knees, and then he had to start sucking on the heel and all that type of stuff.
Yeah. So yeah, then like obviously, like you just said, he all tied up, so he really can't do anything. So she's starting to turn while doing this. Like, our eyes are starting to turn brown or whatever. So she was like, so dude was starting to look like, what's going on with you? And he's still rocking with it, even though he see her starting to change. She's like, shit, I'm still down if you down or whatever. So she got him by the belt around his neck. She got him with the belt, and she like lay him on like the ground. So she take off her heel and start stuffing this damn heel in his ass, bro. Stuff that shit in there multiple times. Blood is gushing out of this nigga ass. Blood is all over. I was like, bro. And like I said,
would never look at red bottoms the same ever.
That was crazy, bro. That was crazy. She stuffing the nigga heel with that. She get her revenge for Tamara and because you remember they were talking about that. They were going to talk about that. She was like, I wanted to talk to you about Tamara too. Like, I feel like she should get fired or some shit he was about to say to her. But they really like skipped over that when she said she was going to quit. So yeah, we get to that part, bro. She stuffed his hand with the butt with the heel, and that shit was crazy, bro. And she put the heel back on. That's the funniest shit. She put the heel back on. Yeah. Off of that. And like I said, she's turning this whole time. So he's looking at her turn while getting his ass is bleeding. Like, bro, the most traumatizing shit somebody could ever go through, bro.
Crazy. The
skin is dropping on him, bro. You want to know how freaked out I would have been in that situation, dog?
I'd probably passed out.
Bro, for real. For real, dog. This nigga here.
I'd have thought I was in hell. I'd have thought, man, that'd have been the day I thought I was dead. I was dead at that point.
And she had told him, she was like, I wanted you to know that a black woman or a nigger bitch did this to you. Because that's what he had said to Tamara.
That was because he said that to Tamara. Like, when Tamara wasn't down and ran away when he was trying to rape her, he called her that when she ran off. Got her revenge. She was like, I want you. She made sure he turned around and looked her in the eyes like, I want you to know a nigger bitch did this to you.
A nigger bitch.
Anytime you look at one of us, I want you to know.
Man.
I was like, damn.
Yeah.
He's never gonna look at black women same.
At all, bro. He gonna like scrap.
That could be a good thing and a bad thing, because like now he might never hire a black woman ever again.
That's what I was saying. I was gonna say that.
He might make sure to disrespect black women for all times after that, or the good side could come and he might be afraid of black women whenever he see them. So it's a toss up in the air. I don't know.
I think he's not gonna hire them, and he's gonna be afraid from now on. Those are the two, bro. He gonna scrap that whole policy, bro. He gonna be like, I don't care, bro. I see what y'all capable of. I don't know. I don't want no parts. I don't want no parts of it. I don't want no parts. All right, bro. Now we get to the next scene.
I think this is when
Letty.
When Tick tells Letty about Yahima. Yeah, Tick tells Letty about Yahima and that Montrose actually killed her, and she didn't run off or anything like that.
No, this was the tub. This was the tub scene.
Yeah, this was the tub scene. Okay, yeah. So this is when Tick. Damn, this happened all the way around that time. I thought this happened earlier.
This was like the second to last scene.
Damn, didn't even peep that.
Yeah.
But so Letty's in the bathtub. She's bathing. Tick comes in, apologizes, blah blah blah. Goes into the fact of he still holds on to Jaya in some sense, because it's like that was the only time that, like, prior to Letty, that was the only time he ever really felt like love in a strong way like that. And that's why when Letty tried to come on to him and express that to him at first, that's why he was kind of like, nah, I don't think I want this, because I know what that feels like, and I had to leave that and everything. So Letty goes into her dialogue about her family and Christianity, how she didn't know what it was like to fully be Christian in certain points, and her love life with family or people in general going place to place throughout life and all that stuff. And I feel like they finally had that connection of, look, we both have had fucked up past when it comes to this topic, but I feel like we're still the perfect match for each other. And Tick's telling her, look, I feel like this is something that I don't want to be afraid of. I want to actually take this head on. And they make up and they decide to say, fuck it, we're going to do this. We're going to be a couple.
Because the point was, Letty, she was like, her mom and Ruby fall in love so easy, and she was never like that. She never hopped from love to love like that. But now she started to actually feel this way with Tick. But I wanted to talk about the church point with Letty. This doesn't even have anything to do with the show, but just the church point in general. When she was talking about getting dragged to church by her parents or by her mom or whatever, and she was like, I really don't know what Christianity is. Like, I look in the book and I don't know what it is. And this is something I've always talked about it before. Like, just going to Southside, if you don't know, that's like a Christian school, and obviously getting dragged to church as well. That can do the same thing that it did to Letty to a lot of other people in general. Like, it can pull you away from the religion and from that belief because it's so forced on you.
It's a lot of people who went to school with us outside. Like now, like it's a lot of people I know probably not off the top of my head, but I can see them if I look at them. They don't fully understand Christianity no more. But some of them, they don't even like to identify as being Christian. Like they're spiritual, but they don't really know if they with the religion. Even though we all went to school together, we all were kind of like force fed that religion. So I agree with you on that.
And that's the point. And me and Zion, because I'm that same way. Because I had to talk to my mom, man. It's like, man, I walked in a church, man, and it was just like, am I here just for show, just because I'm getting dragged here, or am I here to actually learn, or am I here to actually dive into my beliefs? I had to step away from the church, you know what I'm saying? Because I was force-fed I was force-fed from kindergarten to 5th grade, the Bible. I knew nothing else. So when you live your life and you see everything that goes on in your life, it's just like, damn, do I really believe this? You feel what I'm saying? So I understood where Letty was coming from. Because me and Zion have this conversation all the time. It's like, man, when it's force-fed on you, you can't believe it for yourself. Mm-hmm. And that's the same thing she was going through in the show. And the same thing, really, I was going through. And that's why it hit me so hard.
I thought about that. I was like, damn, like Black people in general, a lot of us are dragged to church in our youth. And it's like, I don't know. I feel like different generations absorb that differently than others because nowadays we have access to so much information as opposed to our parents and grandparents back then who didn't. So now that's why it's so easy for our generation to be more optimistic with what we want to believe or don't want to believe, because it's like we see it on our phones, we see it on our laptops, we see it in front of us on TV with everything. Back then, you might have seen different insights on TV, but that was about it. Other than that, you knew what you grew up in. The community or the neighborhood you grew up in, all of y'all 9 times out of 10 believed in the same thing. And that's what you grew up with until you were an adult. And by the time you were a full-fledged adult, your process, the way you thought, wasn't going to change by that point. But it's like you said, our generation, by the time we got to high school and older, it's like we were devouring so much different information at that time. We weren't being force-fed Christianity anymore because we were going to public schools. Mm-hmm. And religion wasn't like mandatory in public schools. Mm-hmm. So I feel like that's a huge difference too, because my dad and them, like my grandma, they would drag all the kids had to go to church. You went to church like damn near every day back in the day in the 50s.
Oh yeah.
Like Sunday was just automatic, but every other day you had to make sure you did church type stuff, whether it was studying at church, going to church to update yourself on news in the community, stuff like that. Church was a part of your everyday life. So that's why it's so easy for my dad and past generations to preach church like that and blah, blah, blah. But it's like us, it's like we hear different religions and different mindsets every day, all the time, 24/7. And it's relatable. Like, it's relatable. It makes sense too. It's not like it's not like hard-headed stuff or devilish stuff. Like, no, some people's different religions, they make sense to the point where it's like, damn, is my religion the only way or is it other ways? I personally, like, I've grown up with Christianity just being in my house, being outside of my house and all that. So that's the way I think. That's the way I believe. That's the way I process stuff. Am I just a full-fledged Bible across my heart all the time Christian? No, because I understand reality and I know everything isn't perfect like that with Christianity. But I am willing to listen to other people. I am willing to like take bits and pieces of different cultures and religions and stuff like that, even though I believe in mine at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's why older people have such a hard time admitting that.
Exactly, bro. And that's why a lot of people in this generation don't even go to church. A lot you hear it a lot from the older people. It's like, man, you don't see the younger people in church like they supposed to be in church or this, that, the third. It's just like, man, we've been dragged here since our younger years, man, and we starting to see everything for ourselves. Like, man, we know everything isn't in the church, and we're starting to understand that the body is the temple at the end of the day. You feel what I'm saying? You always with God. God is always available. You feel what I'm saying? It just doesn't have to always be in the church. The church is the home, don't get me wrong, but God is always available no matter where you go.
I feel like that's important to emphasize too. It's like I go to church every now and then. Do I go all the time like I did when I permanently was staying here in St. Pete? No. Mm-hmm. Like, but whenever I do get the opportunity to go, if I feel like I want to go, I do. But that, like, people now, like older people, like you said, you don't go to church like every Sunday. Like, you can do this every time when this come up, but you can't go to church every Sunday. It's like, I don't feel like I'm less of a Christian because I don't go to church every Sunday. Like, if that's the case, half of us ain't going to heaven.
Exactly.
Half of us ain't going. Like, at least I know I ain't gonna be by myself if I go to heaven. Say that. I know I ain't gonna be by myself.
Exactly. And that point when she said that, it really just hit home to me, man, because I don't know if Black people should just let their kids just find out on their own what they want to believe in, or should they always just be force fed? Because I've had this conversation with white people as well. Like, how would you raise your kids with the religion? And he was like, I would force feed it to him, and I respected it. I was like, if you want your kids to go down that road, I respect it. But I think I will grow up just having like an open environment when it comes to religion, and just have you pick what you want to go down. Yeah, in your early ages, you can follow me to church. But in your later years, like you said, high school, late middle school, it's like, hey, you got to believe what you're going to believe, because, man, you're going to live in this world on your own, buddy.
I'm about to say, because around that age, you going through puberty. Like, you going through puberty, you figuring out who you are as a person. You're young, but you're growing at a rapid rate at that point. Your mind is becoming more free thinking. You're at that age, you're a teenager. You starting to rebel against your parents, whether it's intentional or unintentional. You're getting the idea of, I don't have to think the way you think just because you my mama or just because you my daddy. Like, we all went through that stage, whether we tried to or not. We all got to the point where it's like, I have my own opinion. I have my own mind. So I feel like I agree. It's like, it's to the point where at a certain age, you got to make it okay for your kids to start thinking differently. Now, if it's to the point where it's just completely radical, then that's when you should have a sit down with them. Like, are you sure you want to think this way? But if they come at you with a different opinion, like, don't just completely throw it away like their opinion or their thought process doesn't matter.
Yeah, bro. So that was one thing I just wanted to harp on, because, like I said, it was a subtle line, bro. It was just something that just really caught me, bro. It was really relatable. All right, man. Now we get to the next scene. This is when Christina, I think, comes from the front door. William comes through the front door. And she like, where you been all this time? She was like, what you and your lady friend got in that basement or whatever she had said. Yeah. And like, she was like, and then like William was like starting to like fall down. He was like wobbly or whatever. And he fell to the ground, and you could see he was metamorphosizing. He was changing. And then Ruby was like, what the hell is going on in here? She's like, what the fuck going on? So she look at him, and then we eventually find out that Christina was William this whole time. And that shit really blew my mind, because because I could have sworn I seen them in the same room together. Did you feel that way too?
Yeah.
Bro, I was telling my mama, because I just watched the second episode. Oh, what? At
first, I was like, now that I think about it, I've never seen them in the same room. And Josiah was like, no, they've definitely been in the same room before. I'm looking like, when? Like, when was this? Because I really don't remember seeing them at the same time.
But they weren't, though. I realized they weren't. I actually went and watched episode 1 and 2 again, because that's when they were in the same room, I think, a lot. Or episode 2 and 3, because that's when they were in like the estate. So I was like, damn, maybe they were together. But no, it was like you seen William, and then another scene you seen Christina. And I was like, damn, that's crazy. But no, hold on. Because didn't William walk him into the room where Samuel was getting his pancreas taken out? And Christina was sitting right there. You remember that scene?
Did William walk him in there?
Did William walk him in there?
Whoa. I got to rewatch episode 2. I have to.
Because I'm just thinking, I seen the episode. I ain't even peeped that. I don't think William was in the actual room, but I thought he walked him there.
I thought he walked him in there. That's what I'm saying. Ooh, I gotta rewatch that part. I have to.
Damn.
This show know what it's doing. It's making you have to rewatch episodes. Like, and I love shows that do that. They make you rewatch stuff. Like, you're not gonna get all this the first time. I feel like Jordan. That's the thing with Jordan Peele. Like, Get Out is probably the only movie that we'll ever get from him where you could watch it one time and understand everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even Get Out had maybe one.
You had to watch it again. I had to watch it again to get everything.
But for the majority, I understood the whole movie like off of the first bat. I just watched it again just out of the thrill of watching it again. But I had to watch that at least 3 to 4 times. To understand everything. Like, even now, like, it's still Easter eggs that I just really do finally grasp now.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, this man, he makes you rewatch stuff over and over. Candyman. When Candyman come out, I bet money it's gonna be a way he makes people rewatch that. It's not just gonna be a regular horror movie.
It's funny. So yeah. So and the one thing I wanted to get out about that scene too was just like Christina found out what it was to be a man, and she wanted to be in the order. So Christina found out how it was to be a man, and Ruby found out what it was to be a white woman. So they all, like you said about being uninterrupted, they all got to see the other side of the interruptedness. They all got to see the other level of it. So that was real cool to see about that one. So now we get to the next, and this is the last part of the episode.
So the last scene, Tick is going over the what's the word? The decoding. He's trying to decode the messages of the pictures that Letty took from the words, from the symbols and hieroglyphics and stuff like that. And he was saying that some of these are like Asian type hieroglyphics. That's the reason he's able to decipher some of the codes. Because she's like, how are you able to read this stuff? He was like, well, based off of the studies and the matchups that I've done with my research, some of these are like ancient Chinese or Korean or whatever hieroglyphics that match up to certain words or certain letters. And that's how I'm able to spell out certain stuff. And I forgot the first word that he showed Letty. That he
suffer.
spelled.
I think it was suffer.
Suffer or something like that. But he was able to give her certain words and certain messages.
Oh, because he was talking about the ring, because he seen it on the ring. He was like, these are my initials.
Yeah.
It was like ASF. So I'm guessing that's what these mean or whatever.
Right.
He was showing her other words. He was like, I think this means protection or some shit like that. Because it was like the protection symbol. And that was the same symbol that was on the wooden thing that Christina put in the doctor's office.
Right.
And I didn't say this. I also think that protection is going to be for the dude that's in the closet. I don't think that's protection over the captain. I think that's for the dude in the closet, so he can be protected, so he doesn't give up any secrets. Because I think they said he had something to do with some loot or some shit, stolen loot.
Yeah, so they went over that in episode 3 when Christina went in there.
Yeah, she had stole some loot or whatever. So I think that protection symbol is for him, so he doesn't get killed or whatever, so he can keep quiet, so the captain doesn't get all the information he needs or whatever. So yeah, but you can go on.
And once Letty left out at that moment, he was still going through different decodes, and he seen DIE, and he put pieces together. Like, I remember, he was looking like, I remember seeing this like decoded in front of me, like somebody told me what this meant, and automatically he thought about Jaya, and he was like, what the hell? Like, no, there's no way she knows about all of this that's going on, because in his head he's like, how does bitch know everything that's going on? She didn't tell me nothing. Like, you mean to tell me you know about all this and you ain't say nothing to me? And then that's when he went into the room. He dialed the extended number, called her. She picked up, and he was basically like, how long have you known about this? Like, when did you start, like, knowing this stuff? And she was like, I told you shouldn't have left. And I think she just hung up.
She told him that same shit in episode 1 too. She was like, you shouldn't have left.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have left. Yeah, you did the wrong shit.
And I was like, damn. That's the way we're gonna end it. I was like,
and it's crazy, bro, because like you said, it was like Chinese hieroglyphics. So I'm like, damn, she Korean. That's probably how she can read it. I'm guessing that's probably how she can read it. And that's probably how she knows what's going on. I don't know how she got the book of names, and maybe she got the book of names. Either. Maybe because you see it in the preview, she was reading some book. So I don't know if maybe that was the book of names.
Tick handed that to her, I think. Tick gave that to her. Like, can you read this and tell me what it means?
Yeah, so I don't know what that was. And maybe that was the book of names, and maybe that's probably how she knows everything that's going on. But also going back to that DIE symbol, I was looking at an explain video, and they were telling us that could maybe be the initials of Dora. That probably doesn't mean the word die. It could mean Dora's initials. Just like it had the initials of Tick with ASF, it could be the same thing with Dora with DIE. So,
I feel like it didn't mean die. I was like, okay, it spells DIE, but I'm sure it's way deeper than just that. So I thought the same thing. It probably leads to something more.
Yeah. Because I want to know when we're going to actually dive more into Dora. I feel like we always mention her, but we never really dove into her story yet. So maybe after this one, because I know this next episode is going to be about Gia and Tick.
Oh, yeah, Gia. However you say it. I like Jaya. I'm going to call her Jaya.
Yeah. So what's the name of Tick, bro? So predictions for next episode. What do you think? What do you predict we will get out of next episode?
I predict we're going to find out Tick's love story with her and why he's so shaky with the love topic with Letty. So I definitely see romance between her and Tick. And I also feel like we're going to get a glimpse at, what was it I thought? Because I said this to myself earlier. We're going to get a glimpse at, I feel like we'll get a glimpse of Yahima in this next episode. I feel like the topic of Yahima is going to get brought back too somehow, some way in this next episode. Because I don't feel like they're just going to kill her off and then she's not brought up ever again.
Makes sense. But one thing I wanted to ask, because my mom brought this up the other day, she was like, what happened to Hippolyta and D? We ain't see them at all this episode.
Last we seen of them, they was going to Artem. Whoa.
So maybe we're going to get the next episode or something. Could be dead already.
This show real slick, boy. I don't even think about that.
They threw so much shit at you. You forgot about Hippolyta and D. Yeah, my mom said that yesterday, bro. I was like, damn, that's a good ass point. They really just threw that shit in there. And that shit crazy, man. But yeah, that's it for the episode, bro. Did you have what else? You already said like, love. What else?
Oh, our rankings. Yep. Honestly, this takes place as my new favorite episode. I had episode 3 at first. I think I had it 3, 1, 2, 4. Now I got it 5, 3, 1, 2, 4.
So I got it. Yeah.
You had about the same as mine. It's just our 1 and 3 was switched.
Yeah, 1 and 3 was switched. Yep. So I would have. I think I had this. That first episode. I can't get over the first episode, bro. I swear I cannot. I cannot get over that first episode. So I will put this 2. Damn, that first episode just caught me off guard, dog. So I would have 1. I would have 1, 5, 3, 2, and 4. Damn, but the episode 1, bro. It's crazy. Yeah. But I think that is it, bro. You can hit them with the social media.
You can follow us on Twitter at QE Podcast 1. You can follow us on Instagram at Q_N_E_Podcast. You can follow and like our Facebook page, Q&E Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Click the notification bell and hit the all button so you can see anytime we drop new episodes. Our email, QANDEpodcast@gmail.com for any business inquiries, questions, concerns, fan mail. We'll hit you up anytime we can. Our what else?
Email.
Twitter's. Quincy's Twitter is Q_Hicks3. Mine is at Edgar Martin 97. Quincy's Instagram is Q Hits Production. Mine is Edgar Martin Official.
Yeah, so you can subscribe to us on all of our podcast platforms, wherever you listen to podcasts. We're on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and also iHeartRadio, so definitely subscribe. And also check me out on YouTube. Type in Quincy Hicks to the search bar. I got the director's label inside of my Abby, so definitely subscribe. Just dropped a video on Tyrell Terry. If you're into sports and the NBA draft, definitely check that out. And we're out. Peace. All right.